Hey, this is Rishaad from Autocar, and today I'm going to give you a quick walk-around video of the new Benelli Leoncino 500. Before we go any further, I'm going to apologize to you for any ambient sound you may be hearing. We've got the bike for just a few minutes. It is windy, but I want to give you the first look of what to expect. Let's start with the design. This is what Benelli calls a scrambler. It is a quirky looking design, especially in pictures. It looks a little more personable in the images, but it's an unusual design with this large teardrop shaped fuel tank, a round headlamp, and I think it comes together quite well. I'm growing fonder of it as the more I look at it. And what I've noticed is that quality levels on this motorcycle seem to be a little higher than what we saw on the TRK 502, which is essentially a much bigger sibling of this motorcycle. Now, the reason behind that is because this bike uses much less body panels, and whatever's there seems to be put together quite nicely. Now let's start from the front. You've got a full LED headlamp. Let me just turn that on for you, with an interesting U-shaped DRL that should make the bike quite identifiable on the road. And then you've got this rather cute lion motif here. In case you're wondering, Leoncino means lion cub in Italian. So that's what the name of the motorcycle is, and that's why there's that lion there. It feels fairly sturdy. It's bolted in from the bottom. We'll have to see how long it lasts. But I think what gives the front end the most presence is this massive oversized 50mm fork. That is really big. The bike definitely doesn't need it. What else uses a 50mm fork? A Ducati Diavel uses a 50mm fork. That's to give you an idea of just how over-engineered this is. It's not necessary, but it definitely gives the bike presence, as does this front tire. It's a 120 section tire, similar to what you'd see on a superbike. This is definitely not a superbike. We'll get to the engine in a bit. But again, it all comes together to give this a very powerful, muscular stance with dual discs in the front and a radial brake setup. Again, like I said, dual discs. It's not branded, it just says Benelli, but it is radial brakes. That is quite impressive. Let's go over to the side. The bike is held together by a tubular frame, and that is Benelli's 500cc parallel twin engine in there. Now, we know this engine. We've experienced it in the TRK 502. It makes about 47.5 horsepower, 46 Newton meters of torque, and these are very nice figures for the Indian riding environment. I'm expecting this bike to be quite nice to ride because even though the TRK is really heavy, the engine worked quite well in that application. This bike is going to be considerably lighter. The international spec sheet tells us it's about 186 kgs dry. So we're probably looking at something like maybe 200 kilos curb, which is heavy, and when you pick the bike off the stand, like I'm going to do right now, you do feel the weight trying to move it around. But it's got a low seat height, it's a nice manageable riding position, fairly straight up, very wide handlebar. Let me just show you what that looks like. I'm 6'1", I fit on it very comfortably. I think there's reasonable space for a pillion, and it looks like it's going to be a very comfortable and easy motorcycle to ride. Let's head over to the rear. We didn't finish off the design there. I like the tail lamp. It's this simple rectangular unit with rounded edges. Let me show you how it lights up. That looks quite neat. These indicators are similar to what Honda's done with the CB300R, but they do feel a little bit flimsy. Down here, you've got a very nice exhaust, and since this is a Benelli, it's almost an imperative to expect that it sounds good. Let me show you what that sounds like. Yep, Benelli continues to get exhaust tuning done really well. What else do we want to talk about? Oh yes, this monoshock has an easily accessible preload adjuster right here. That's a very nice, convenient touch. Everything is quite neatly laid out here. Your coolant reservoir is out here. You've got some nice little branding out here, branding here, branding here. And let's show you this new instrument cluster as well. That's a fully digital unit. It's quite simple, but it is neatly laid out. We're going to have to spend a little more time with it to learn what everything's in there. But from the look of it, it's quite nice. I'm not particularly fond of the switchgear. I think it's quite basic. I mean, it gets the job done. It doesn't look very nice. These plastic moldings aren't very nice. But I think that's one of the only quality-related things that's leaping out at me right now. Overall, this bike costs 4.7 lakhs ex-showroom. It's a very decent price. It sits in a point of the market where there isn't too much happening. I think the new CF motorbikes, price-wise, will come closest to this. We expect to ride the Leoncino quite soon. Based on what I've seen so far, I'm quite eager to see what it's like. And I think this might end up being my favorite Benelli. We'll find out soon enough, and we'll let you know as soon as we can.